What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. We're going to be going over this motorcycle close call that happens quite a bit, whether you're in a car or not. So it could be a car close call, motorcycle close call. Anyways, we're going to go over what happened, why it could have happened, and with that knowledge, we're going to be a lot better at our driving and our riding. So share this with your driving buddies, but definitely share it with your riding buddies. With that said, let's watch what happens and go over it. So pretty typical. That's what happens all the time when we're motorcycle riding or car driving and we're going to go into a parking lot and vehicles come out, okay? It's pretty simple, but I want to go over some of the things that I look for so that none of this is a surprise and I don't get a little agitated or anything like that. I still say they're dumb drivers, but it doesn't ruin my ride and it doesn't ruin the rest of my day. So we're gonna move forward just a little bit, and there it is. There's that pattern. We talk about this all the time during the live streams. This should not be anything new to you if you watch the live streams Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but the sides of the vehicle is a pattern. It's the thing that you need to look out for, because right here is the moment you can see it, and we have a couple seconds until we get to the intersection. So those couple seconds can really determine where your escape path is. It can determine if you're gonna brake or swerve, or it's gonna determine if you need to focus on this hazard, because not all hazards are things that you need to focus on. Are we focusing on the wet road right there? That's a typical hazard if you have your tire on it. Not really. If you're off to the side, you mitigated that hazard. So we're gonna try to mitigate the side of this vehicle. So right here, moving forward just a little bit. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, the person pulled out and they were looking right at me. They were looking right at me. So now we're going to go into some of the things that could play into that. So this is for car drivers and it's also for motorcyclists. So car drivers typically don't look for and see motorcyclists. They might put their face and their eyeballs on you in that direction, but their brain is not saying focus on that. It's saying focus on the target hazard. Focus on the things that are going to kill you. So what's happening is the brain is removing you and looking for cars. Okay, inattentional blindness. And there's also motion-induced blindness where you blend in with the background that's not moving. So there's all these different psychological things with our brain. Basically, to boil it down, is there's only so much our brain can input and process and then output into our body. Okay, so that's basically what it is. And when we're out driving, there's too much to put into our heads and into our eyes for our brains to process it. So as a car driver, they can't do everything, okay? As much as you guys think you can multitask, we just can't do it as well, especially at a high rate of speed or even in a parking lot speed. So as motorcyclists, we have way more stuff to deal with, way more stuff than a car driver. So it's actually harder for us, and that's why we need higher training, higher skill caps, everything, okay? But that's typically why a car driver won't see us. So as car drivers, if you're watching this as a car driver, start looking for motorcyclists, okay? That's called the familiarity check. There's a huge name for it. It's gonna pop up on screen. I can't pronounce it. Basically, if you're looking for something, like let's say you wanna buy a motorcycle, you're gonna start seeing motorcycles on the road all the time. Same thing for me. I'm looking at vans. I wanna buy a van or buy a truck. I'm looking and finding them everywhere on the road. That is the problem that motorcyclists have, is that car drivers just don't look for us because they don't care as much in terms of I'm going to get hurt by them, because they typically see cars out on the road. Big, huge discussion, big, huge explanation, but I hope that makes a ton of sense. So with that knowledge, and when we see this pattern, okay, we're going to reduce as much as we have to focus on. If we could just see a pattern, we don't have to see, we don't have to care if they're looking at us, if they have their blinker on, all this bull that we shouldn't be caring about. We should just look for this little pattern, because typically this precedes a path of travel violation. And that's what we're gonna have here, is that driver looked left, right, whatever, couldn't see us because we're motion induced, inattentional, whatever, familiarity check, and then they start to go. But there's that pattern, that side of the vehicle. Last second, they did see us, and then they stopped. So this right here should give you pause and be like, okay, well, now what are you gonna do? All right, I gotta pay attention. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go on with my day. It's gonna be a non-issue if you understand that this driver just wasn't paying attention, or maybe they were paying attention, just didn't see you because the brain couldn't handle it. I don't know. Maybe they ate too much McDonald's and then had a brain fart. But here's the thing, guys. I want you to be a little bit more compassionate towards other drivers. I want you to be a good advocate for the motorcycling community and help out drivers to see us. So the best thing we could possibly do is literally say, look out for motorcyclists. So the main thing here is just be safe and understand that this type of stuff is not of ill intent. It literally is our brain deceiving us. Okay. Okay, guys? With that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you out on the road.